So grateful to have you guys here today with us on the Brian and Jesse Gibson Show. We are so excited that you're with us, and we are going to talk about all things man, male, beards, guns.
Do you know we're going to talk about sharpening axes, shooting bows, lighting fires, small explosives, loading ARs, cooking steaks.
Are you going to teach us how to lay in bed at the end of the day, and instead of worrying if you're raising the kids right, just like lay in bed and be like,
watching
I'm
the
awesome.
news, saying I'm awesome and going to sleep. Hey, check out this video, dads. What's happening to dads?
Finally, new rule. Let's make the Father's Day we just celebrated the last one that takes place in a culture where dads have become such punching bags. Literally the last demographic group that TV, ads, and movies can still depict as clueless, useless. Basically just another child that mom has to look after. Every sitcom is tonight on ABC, Larry burns down the house. And the tagline in the commercial for every household product is basically, because your husband is a moron.
Moving in together. It's a big step. A test. A test that Jeff failed miserably.
You know, I'm not sure when this trend started, but I'm going to blame the 1987 movie Three Men and a Baby. The premise of which is that three grown men can't manage to keep a baby alive. The same year gave us Married with Children, with its idiot shoe salesman of a father, followed by an endless parade of eye-roll, short-bus dads, Homer Simpson, Family Guy, Modern Family, Malcolm in the Middle, Everybody Loves Raymond, Home Improvement, according to Jim. And it's not just the old-school broadcast TV sitcoms. It's everywhere. It's highbrow streaming stuff, it's major motion pictures, it's minor motion pictures. It's in everything. And look, I know I don't have any kids. I made a different choice in life and decided to have money.
You're not lying.
But all these shows, they can't all be lying about what it's like to have kids.
Your EQ is off the charts, Nick.
Aha, Nick. I'm Nick now. What happened to Dad?
Well, I don't know, Nick. What happened to Dad?
You're an asshole. Hate coming here.
Why are you acting so? I mean, it is only $10.
Bro, do you hear how they talk to me? Do you hear how you gotta say something?
Whoa, hold on. When are you guys planning on coming home?
By 11 or 12?
Yeah, soon.
You know you both have school tomorrow.
Oh, that's true. We do. Yeah, he's right.
Solid parenting, Dad. Come
on. Kids today, they're like Trump. They think the rules don't apply to them. And Mom? Mom is always the smart one, the good one. He's just lucky to be in her orbit. And I get it that this is a correction to centuries of women being deemed the weaker sex, but how long does the correction last? And when will men stop making me throw up in my mouth with the way they pander so nakedly? Ryan Gosling says, I think women are better than men. They're better than us. And Harry Styles' T-shirt agrees. Terry Crews believes it. He says women are smarter than men for real. Even Barack Obama says about women that what I can say pretty indisputably is that you're better than us. Really?
What would Barack Obama know about women? Because I don't even know if he's married to one. Right? I'm not even sure that Michelle is a woman. So
UFC fighters
says that boldly proclaims that Michelle Obama is a man. Here's what we're looking at. We're looking at a cultural phenomena. Now, it's Father's Day. This goes way back to whenever we were kids.
Yeah.
87, I'm 10 years old. You're born in 81. And the nighttime sitcoms started.
Did you just tell the whole world my age?
Yeah, I sure did. But
wow.
I mean, come on, you look good.
That was intense.
What can I say? You look good to be 57, Jesse.
Yes.
You look good to be 57.
I look great to be 65.
Yes, you do. So I remember being a kid and Married with Children came out. And it was something my parents wouldn't let me watch.
Me too.
Because our pastor in the church I was raised in talked about The Simpsons and talked about Al Bundy and said this is a systematic demoralization of the American male.
Good on your pastor.
I remember the sermon. I remember sitting there in Providence First Baptist Church and this coming up and them preaching this. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh man, I can't watch The Simpsons now, right? Because the Simpsons were rough. But I think this isn't, I'll say this. You look at males now, you look at men now. I think this wasn't accidental.
No.
Right? A lot of people want to act like these things. Even I was looking up stuff on ChatGPT saying, is there a playbook that was put out? And I believe there is on how to demoralize the American male, the father figure, and to dismantle the system, which is family set up by God. I think it's been done. And I think part of what they've done is what Bill Maher is pointing to. Apologize for his language there a little bit too. Bill Maher's not one of us, but he actually makes some good statements here. And for me to see an old school liberal like Maher come out and sound like not a conservative Christian, but someone that has sense.
Sure.
Which he's done a lot. Maher almost sounds MAGA at times now.
Well, if you look at what he's saying, it matches the science of how important men are to the home, to the family, to the church, to children. You look at the science of it, men actually bring so much to the table when it comes to keeping them out of promiscuity, out of drug addiction, out of mental health issues. All of the things that you want for your children and want to keep them out of. Adding a male to the house and having a father figure in that house destroys a lot of the potential for those evil things to creep into their life. So the science backs his practical approach, and it absolutely does not back the approach of the left that's pushing this agenda with us through every single television show. And I find that, even more so than women are buying into this, because women, they'll laugh, they'll say things, but ultimately women want men to be men. If you look at the culture, there's kind of a swing right now, even like in the TikTok culture, of girls going back to being like completely early on female, like wearing aprons, making their own bread, staying home, homeschooling their children, getting chickens and raising them. Like they want to go back to the olden days.
When are you getting some chickens?
I have a neighbor with chickens. I don't need chickens. So they bring me eggs, and that's good enough for me. But what I'm seeing is that the young generation is swinging back to wanting to be that typical female, and they're desirous of a man that behaves like a old school male with masculine qualities, that doesn't bow, and they don't want to see their husband and want to mock him and say that he's stupid and he doesn't do anything and he's lucky to get to be in my orbit. Women actually want men to be men, but the agenda wants us to believe that women hate men. And I don't believe that's true. I think there's a small segment of women that hate men. I think there's a large segment of women that desire for men to stand up and be masculine.
There are really loud voices that have shaped and created a cultural narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at some of like the statements that were made by like the Rockefeller Foundation, if you look at these statements, there's one lady that was a big charging feminist, helped found a lot of the feminist movements. Like there was a strategy to what they were going to do. They want to control the world.
Yeah.
They want to control the workforce and the US dollar. So what they had to do is they have to demoralize males, because you cannot control strong males. Right? Strong males, in their very core, they have a nature to lead. They also have a nature to fight against any type of oppression. They have a nature in their core that stands up and protects those that can't be protected. So you have to demolish that. And this is systemic, and it's an attempt for the death of the West. And so you seed it in. Every war is a seed war. It's a war for thoughts, and a seed produces after its own kind. I can give you a seed of the gospel in my preaching and teaching. That seed takes root in your heart. It starts to produce something.
Sure.
Or the devil can give you a seed of deception. And if you allow that seed to come into your heart, it begins to produce something. And throughout the 80s, the 90s, all these shows made the dad look like an idiot, the man look incompetent, the man look like a moron. And little by little, bit by bit, it started to erode the father figure in America. So you take that, and then you bring the radical feminist movement. We don't need a man. right? We won't be told down with the patriarchy, burn my bra. All I want is a Subaru, me, you, and a Subaru, honey. That's what they got into.
Oh, it's so true.
And they've created this crazy world.
And there was no bigger trick to all humankind than to say, hey, women, you can burn your bras, have no men involved, meaning now we don't have the protector and the provider, which was the primary role and gift of the man to the woman. So now you've taken away protection, you've taken away provision. Women are like, I can earn my own money. Yeah, you can. And you could have a provider in your house, and it's their primary job to provide for you. How beautiful would that be? I mean, married people have the potential for far more income producing. What I don't understand is where they're missing that men protect and provide at a level that women absolutely. I mean, we have so many women that work in so many different departments. I'm not downplaying anybody's role, but their primary gifting and their primary core value is not to protect and provide, it's to nurture.
Sure.
So they're taking the ability of a woman to nurture out. They're saying you don't need to nurture. That won't fill your heart. You need to have this job, this corporate job. You need to build this. You need to do this. You need to be out in the world. You need me time. You need to give to yourself. You need to give yourself 40 years before you ever even discuss having children. By that time, a woman's not able to produce like she was before. They say, oh, well, we can do it with science. Well, that has all kinds of implications. And now you've got a woman who has missed the most productive years of her life to birth and nurture, and a man who's missed the most productive years to protect and provide. And you've divided the family and brought in a lack of protection, a lack of provision, and a lack of nurture for every child born on the earth. And then we wonder why our children are struggling emotionally with their identity, in their psyche. I mean, everything has broken down. Listen, even it's statistically proven that even if you talk to a predator who's already imprisoned that hurt children, he will tell you that he looks for someone who does not have a strong male around them protecting. And if he can find,
looking for somebody without a strong male,
yes,
looking for the weakness, he knows.
So the culture has virtually been a predator. They have come into our world and taken out the protector so that they could prey on those who needed a protector. And now that preying has destroyed a culture. And if we're going to build it back in any significant way, we have to reinstate these positions. We have to reinstate the primary nature of a man and a woman. And listen, I have worked outside of the home my entire life. It's not that
she's
saying,
my sugar mama.
I am a sugar mama.
I'm in it for the money here, right?
But I always knew that even though I was doing these things, and even though I had dreams and goals that were both family and business and ministry, that the primary provider, the purpose of Brian was that he was the provider. At the end of the day, it was your job to provide, not mine. And I can attribute and I can bring it to the game. And listen, there may even be years where a woman's making more money than the man. It still doesn't remove the job of that man to primarily be the provider. If someone's not eating in this house, if they're not sleeping inside, if they do not have clothes to warm their body, if they are not provided for, there is no one's position on the line besides the man. It is him. And so these families, everything's gotten so mixed up, and they created it on purpose. They sold us a lie.
This is systemic, and this is on purpose. And I'm telling you, they try to diminish the role of a father. Then you try to take the mother, and you went after reproduction. Yes. All right. So there's a couple different things. If you do a bunch of research in history, you'll find the Rockefeller population control history, where there's statements where Rockefeller wanted to stop population control, invested heavy in birth control, and invested heavy in women's rights movements, and not just that, but women's liberation movements.
Yes.
Right. There was big money behind doing this. It didn't.
What if we don't want to be liberated?
Yeah. What if you like being a mom? What if you like raising kids? What if you like having a husband that protects and provides? Then there's a woman named Shulamith Firestone. All right. Shulamith Firestone was raised in St. Louis in a ultra-Orthodox Jewish community that was probably pretty rough on women.
Firestone.
You know what I mean? It is probably pretty rough on women. So she has this reaction, and she says, we're going to free women from this oppression. And what she does is she goes after, she says that sex and procreation were the reason that women were downplayed. So she wanted to engineer a sexual revolution that would almost separate the male and the female and the family unit. All right. And make it where you could have babies apart from a marriage, apart from male and female, even through other science was her big dream. She founded a lot of these women's libs movement and helped seed this thing, and big dollars got behind her and helped seed this thing into America. So where does that leave us? That leaves us now with a fractured family in America without a strong father and with a mother who is by herself. Or here's another way this has been engineered. You make sure that Americans cannot exist without a two-income household, right? Both the man and the woman. I remember my granddad could work. My mother worked my whole life, but my granddad could work. His wife did not work. They were able to buy a farm, buy a house, live a good living, retire with some wealth on one income. Now the system, and I don't believe it's by accident, I believe it's engineered. It's a two-income system to almost keep us going in America. And when there's a two-income system, that ensures that you're not raising your children, right? You got your children on the weekends when you take them to ball and you don't hardly talk to them. The coach has them all morning. You might have them on Sunday, but Monday through Friday, they are the state owns them.
Yeah.
And I'll call it the government school system because I think it's nicer than saying the communist school system, but that's what it is. So then you got preschool for the little ones, and you put them right in school and you take them right up to when they're 18 years old. Then you ship them off to a university or you put them in work and your influence is diminished. This is the play. This is government replacing the family and God and the church, and it is wicked.
What they're saying to women is that you're so smart that you don't need a man. You can go out and have corporate jobs, or you can build a business. You're so smart. You don't need anyone. You don't need anyone to downplay your intelligence. You need to stand up and say, I don't need you. You have everything that you need. Well, except you're not capable of teaching your babies how to read. You're not smart enough to teach those kids how to function in life. We need to teach them to tie their shoes, how to add. We need to have them at all times. In fact, the minute that they're born, we pretty much need you to pass them off to us at 6:30 in the morning. And we're going to drop them back to you when we get ready. You can't even have any influence in how they're educated, what they're reading, what they're doing. We really don't need you in the school. We need you to come get them after they're done with their sports at about 6:00 at night. And then we're going to tell you that child must be in bed by 8:00. So now you can't go to Wednesday night church because everybody's got to put their kids into bed earlier. They're a terrible parent. And so now you have an equivalent of an hour and a half with your kids every single night. And in that hour and a half, you got to feed them, bathe them, teach them everything you're going to teach them, have every kind of relationship. And that gives most families 1.5 hours a day, if they're lucky, to pour their life into those kids. Whose disciple do you think they are by the time they graduate high school? They're not your disciple. They're not Jesus's disciple because they haven't been in church on Wednesday night. So now we've got 1 hour on Sunday morning, maybe, if the parents make it and they're not in travel ball. And we have 1.5 hours every evening to feed them, bathe them, get them ready for bed, and make sure that we teach them everything that we need to know. And then we wonder why our children are not disciples of Jesus Christ.
Boy, it's serious and it's real. And I think we in the church need to take a serious look on how this is working, what's going on. Because listen, I've lived long enough as a pastor. I know if there's a fatherless environment and an environment that has no family, doesn't have that's where the protection comes from. That's where the identity comes from. That's where the provision comes from. And this whole family thing that God gave us in the book of Genesis, I'm telling you, it works.
It's supernatural.
It's supernatural. It's the plan of God. And modern cultural engineers can screw up anything that God has created. Don't let them do it in your house. Listen, if you would like, share, subscribe to this content. Also, they're throwing a number up where you could follow us right now. If you text into this number, join 806-304-4300. We'll keep you up where we're preaching, where we're going, what we're doing. Also, we want to thank all of our partners that help us with this podcast and help us also with our traveling ministry. We're preaching and teaching. Just to let you know, I've written a new book right here. I Can Write, which is amazing. A lot of my friends thought I couldn't spell, and I really can't, but thank God that we have autocorrect these days. So this is the story of the Spirit of God invading my life. He wants to invade your life as well. You can be ignited by the Spirit of God. You could get this pre-order on Amazon right now. Comes out July 7th. Come on, dads. We're rooting for you. Moms, we're rooting for you. Let's build strong families. We love you. stay out of trouble.